Yeah, I mean, people. I realise now in the past that people have been dropping hints about songs that I'd never heard, so I wouldn't know what they were talking about. Yeah, I mean, you expect me, a human being, to run a 1275 Mini on a college grant in between 86 and 88 and buy albums. Well, as soon as I needed the car to get to college, the car was the most important thing, really, wasn't it? I mean, everything else took a second place. Unless it broke down completely and I had to borrow my parents' car and used to get sick of me doing that. But yeah, I built it all car myself. I started when I was 18, finished when I was 20, and then went back to college. I had a first diploma in general engineering before I started, but I'd never done it. Yeah, we've been taught how to do certain jobs on engines, like adjust valve clearances, and did we put a crankshaft in? I think we did, but we don't think we fitted pistons because that's quite complicated. You need a piston ring compressor. And yeah, they were only basic engines. Were there Austins and was there a push rod? A few Ford push rods, I think there were. And we taught a bit of welding by he was a genius welder, was that bloke, Mr. Harrison, who was brilliant. I mean, there was only one lad in class who could weld aluminium with oxyacetylene, and it wasn't me. But I later fixed a hole about that big in a car radiator, which is made out of brass, isn't it? Copper, softer than aluminium and a lower melting point. I fixed a hole about that big in this radiator with oxyacetylene. I couldn't believe I did that, but obviously one of the lads looked at the so-called SGT mounting bracket that the radiator was held on by, and he said, it's too long as that bracket, that's why it's catching the wind, because it was a GT and not an S bracket, because Mini 1275 GTs, well, they were in a Clubman body, the inner wings were further apart, which is why that radiator in my Mark IV body was catching the inner wing, yeah, because they'd supplied the wrong one, these genius parts. Well, I suppose really they supplied the body, which wasn't that bad. 695 quid in 85. I had to stack about 1,000 tons of sacks to buy that body, and then I'd have blew the flipping car. But yeah, they're about 10,400 now, because I still have, is it English Heritage bought the manufacturing presses and stuff just in case somebody crashes the Cooper S or GT or Mini and wants to rebuild it. Yeah, they do occasionally do the odd batch of Mini body shells, but the company I bought mine from, well, they have to make a bit of a profit, and yeah, mine was 695 in 1985, but they're about 10,400 now. You could buy a car for that, couldn't you? Well, you could buy a house once, yeah. My granddad's house, Southview in Greenhouse Lane, Northallerton. If you ever passing by, have a look. £195 outright, I think it was. Not the mortgage. Well, the mortgage, yeah. You got a mortgage for £195, which you paid off weekly or monthly or whatever. I don't know how many shillings and pence a week, but yeah, £195 that house outright. Just shows how much they've gone up compared to wages. I mean, I calculated the difference between house prices and wages from 1968 when my dad built our bungalow, 2,300 for the whole thing, to now. House prices have gone up fivefold compared to wages. Nobody can afford a house now. We're not even somebody famous, because there's so many famous people trying to buy houses that they've flooded the market with famous people, haven't they? I mean, my dad used to say to me when I wanted to be a mechanic, mechanics are 10 a penny, but isn't everybody now?